Good morning, Kensington Knights. Today we're going to learn how to use our question stems while reading. This is what our question stems look like. The first thing that you'll see is the actual standard course of study number that teachers use as professionals. Okay, and then you'll see the essential skills and concepts. So you have a list of things to be thinking about, like identifying details and examples in the text, using the author's name and expressions, and how the author states or how the author shows their opinion in their writing. Then you have question stems and prompts down towards the bottom, like, why did the author write this passage? And if we skip on down to this question right here, it says, what can you conclude from this passage? So we have the homework machine. The homework machine, oh, the homework machine, most perfect contraption that's ever been seen. Just put in your homework and then drop a dime, snap on the switch, and it's 10 seconds time. Your homework comes out quick and clean as can be. Here it is, 9 plus 4, and the answer is 3. 3? Oh me, I guess it's not as perfect as I thought it would be. So a conclusion is a judgment or a decision reached by reasoning. So when we're trying to draw conclusions about what it is that we've been reading, we have to ask ourselves questions that help us dig deep. The question that we're asking is, what can you conclude from this passage? And when I look, I see, I guess it's not as perfect as I thought it would be. That's the conclusion that the writer came up with. So let's look at what the author is really saying when they say, I guess it's not as perfect as I thought it would be. Questions that we should be asking is, why is the homework machine not as perfect as he thought it would be? What is the author saying about homework itself? What is the author saying about machines? What phrases did the author use to show perfection? And what phrases did the author use to show imperfection? What does the maker of the homework machine not understand? So those are questions that you can ask yourself to dig deep about such a simple thing as a poem by Shel Silverstein. Okay, so that's what I did. I thought about questions, and then if I answer those questions, then I will have a conclusion about what the author wrote. So it's your turn. What do you do? What questions are you going to ask about Backward Bill? What kind of conclusions can you come up with? I want you to take time in your writer's workshop notebook or reader's workshop notebook to come up with those questions and the answer to one of those questions. Today's topic is using question stems to dig deeper. That date's wrong. I'm going to have to change that. I was tired. Your I can statement is use question stems to ask questions that help me dig deeper in my reading. You're going to paste this into your reader's workshop notebook on the 12th page. And then what does the maker of the homework machine not understand? My answer is the maker of the homework machine doesn't understand the purpose of homework. He thinks it is to get it done, which is incorrect. Homework is supposed to help you reinforce the learning that happens at school. So you see how I've answered the initial question that I had on the previous slide. What does the maker of the homework machine not understand? Now, when you ask questions and come up with a conclusion for backward bill, you're going to write it in the section 2. Then later on, after we meet live, you're going to choose a book either from Rise Kids or from Myon. You're going to read that book, and then you're going to use those question stems that are on the slides, and you also have an attachment that have all the question stems for literature. I want you to just focus on the first one because that's the one that I modeled for you. So when you get your Rise Kid book, or you get a book that you've been reading at home, or you get a book from Myon, you'll answer what kind of conclusions can you draw about what you're currently reading. And it needs to be literature, which means it needs to be fiction. You'll answer a conclusion that you've drawn. It could be a conclusion about the character. It could be a conclusion about the author. It could be a conclusion that you've drawn about the setting and how important it is in the story. You'll put your question and then your answer, like I modeled with number 1, on number 3 and number 4 in your Reader's Workshop notebook. Well, Miss Knupp, do I have to print all this stuff out? Well, the only thing that you really need to print out is the homework machine. And if you look at Miss Knupp's Reader's Workshop notebook, you will see I have a page where I folded it in half, like I showed you before on a previous video, so I could get a nice crease. And then I started at the bottom of my notebook, and I counted 14 blue lines up, and that was my halfway mark. So I've divided my page into 4 equal sections, and now I can write the question that I modeled, the question that you're working on right now, and then the 2 questions that you'll do independently on your own. I look forward to seeing you in live view in just a few moments. Oh, there's a reminder at the bottom of the screen. Take time to draw your conclusions and meet me back in Microsoft Teams. Bye.